First of all, we start with security need of the new office branch in Bali, Indonesia. For your information, the new Bali branch manage confidential legal data, serve as a VPN connected hub to the other branch and host critical serve that support the company core operation. For the main point is, why security is needed for this? For the new branch in Bali, Indonesia, is because it's used to protect sensitive data, prevent unauthorized access, maintain business continuity, ensure legal and ethical compliance. Next, we move to the security need and risk. First of all, we need to control who can access the network. This is important because only authorized staff should be able to access internet system and legal file. What happens if it does not exist? Hacker or unauthorized user may access sensitive client information. Next, we need to protect office device. This is because office device must be protected from virus, malware or misuse. What happens if it does not exist? Malware can damage file, steal data or stop the system from working properly. Next, we need to backup and data protection. It is important because cache file must be safely stored and recoverable during system failure. What happens if it does not exist? File could be lost or leaked and affecting legal service and client trust. Lastly, we need a physical security of equipment. This is important to serve and switch should be locked and monitored with CCTV. What happens if it does not exist? People could still damage or tamper with the network hardware.
So I'll be talking about the security blueprint. And for the security blueprint, we'll be using the NIST SB 853, also the hybrid ISO. So why are we using these two standards? It's because these two standards are globally recognized frameworks for building and managing a strong information security system. And we use the NIST for detailed technical controls and risk assessments, and then we use the ISO for strategic policy development and continuous improvement. So let's first talk about the first part, which is the security controls. So security controls, what does it mean by security controls? It is the essential technical tools and measures to protect the data. So in here, we can implement firewalls, secure Wi-Fi, VPNs, IDPS, and data encryption in order for legal confidentiality. So why do we want to implement these things? So firewalls are used to block unauthorized traffic from entering or leaving the network. And then the IDPS, also known as intrusion detection and prevention system. So we can use this to detect and stop any suspicious or harmful behavior, such as trackers or malware. We want to implement secure Wi-Fi because we want to ensure encrypted wireless access with strong passwords and hidden access IDs. A VPN, also known as virtual private network, is for encrypting internet traffic when staff access the system remotely. And lastly, data encryption is for encrypting the files and emails so that whenever we have any sensitive legal data, it remains protected, even if it's intercepted. Okay, so why is security controls important? Is that so that for the law firm, it can handle highly confidential client information, and these security controls will help prevent any data leaks, cyber attacks, or unauthorized access. We will talk about the second part of the security blueprint, which is network segmentation. So, what does this mean? So, this refers to the practice of dividing a network into smaller segments using VLANs, which stands for virtual LANs. So, we want to implement VLANs for admin, any partners, meeting rooms, as well as guests. So, what does each part mean? So, admin for the admins is for office management and HR. For partners, we refer to it as like senior lawyers. For meeting room means like doing any video conferencing or any presentations. And then for guests is for clients with any restricted access. So why is network segmentation important? It's so that if one segment is breached, example the guest Wi-Fi, then the attacker can't easily reach the legal or admin systems. So this limits the damage and increases the network performance. Okay, so now we will move to the third part of the security blueprint, which is access management. So access management refers to how do we control who can access what in the system and how securely they can do it. So for this, we can use a role-based access control as well as the multi-factor authentication. So role-based access control means that only allowing access to any file systems based on that person's job. So it can be the job can be like receptionists or partners. So the access varies according to that person's specific job. And then we have the multi-factor authentication. So example for this would be like staff will have to like verify the identity using a password or a secondary factor, which can be either using like a fingerprint or even SMS code. So why is access management important? Is to prevent any unauthorized access to legal documents, especially if the device ends up being lost or stolen. Now I'll talk about the next part, which is risk management. So what do we refer to as risk management? Risk management is when we want to identify all possible threats and assess how likely those threats are, and so put the controls in place in order to reduce or eliminate any possible threat. So what do we do to for risk management is to identify, assess, and mitigate any threats, example like data breaches, malware, or insider misuse. And why is risk management important? It is to for the Bali law firm is to make sure it can protect its reputation and client trust. So by managing the risk helps keep services running and keep the data safe. And then we move to the last part of the security blueprint, which is maintenance and monitoring. So for this part, what does it mean is that for any for any ongoing task to keep the security system strong and up to date. So this means that for regular audits, patching, centralized login via SIEM, as well as any updates. So why is maintenance monitoring important is that uh, because even good systems can be outdated sometimes. So regular maintenance help ensure the protection of the system is continuous. Now I'll talk about the next part, which is SETA. So what does stands for? SETA. It stands for Security Education, Training and Awareness. So it's a structured program that is designed to help improve the security behavior and knowledge of all employees in an organization. So for the SETA program, there are three components, which is education, training, and awareness. So let's talk about education part first. So for the law firm, the suggestion for the education part is for activity to be formal security courses, and should be held annually. There should be cybersecurity certificates, and this can be optional. And another activity should be legal compliance briefing. This should happen twice a year. So what does each activity mean? So for the formal security course, it is to ensure that all the IT staff will understand the security practices that are at best for the company. And then for cybersecurity certificates, it helps to increase the knowledge of employees regarding cybersecurity as well as encourages a professional development for the security leaders. And lastly, the legal compliance briefing is to help cover any updated changes in the data protection regulations as as the regulations can be updated from time to time. So it's better to always have this briefing twice a year. And then the next part of the SETA program is training. So training, there's few activities that is suggested. So the first activity is any phishing simulations, and this can happen quarterly. There should be password management and MFA use training or multi-factor authentication. And this should happen twice a year. An incident response drill, and this can happen annually. And last activity is device and data handling training. And this can happen annually as well. So what is each activity for? So phishing simulation is to help test the staff's response to any fake phishing emails. So as there could be fake emails that could potentially risk any data breaches. So in order to prevent that, better to have simulations to help test the staff in order to protect the data. And they're able to identify what is a real email and what is a fake email. And then the next activity is password management and MFA use training. So this helps to teach what are the strong passwords as well as password managers to all the employees. Another activity is incident response drill. So this is to help teach any steps that should be done during a cyber attack as well as a data breach. The last activity is device and data handling training. So what is this training for? This training is to help explain how to secure laptops, USBs, and confidential files, as these uh, these items are the ones that will have the highest potential of any data breaches. So all the employees must know how to secure their laptops, USBs, plus confidential files. And then the final component of the SETA program is the awareness. So all employees of the company should be aware about security. So what activities can be done? So they can put posters or visual cues, maybe a signboard that can say, please do not leave your laptop open. This is to prevent any unauthorized access to the personal data. And then another activity that we can is monthly security letters. So this can be sent through emails, any pop-up reminders, just like quick messages here and there to just inform the employees or remind the employees to be aware about security. And the last one is guest access briefing. So this is for any guests that are coming to the a company. So this can be guests with restricted access. So there should be a briefing regarding how much access they're able to have in the company. So that is for the SETA program. Now I'll talk about the continuity strategies. So what is this strategies for? So the purpose is to ensure critical legal services can continue before and after any disruption. So it means that if something goes wrong, such as a network crash or even a natural disaster, the law firm should be able to still function and serve clients, access files, and stay connected to the HQ. So now we'll talk about the components of the continuity strategies. So first we have is the critical functions. So what are these functions for? These are the business activities that must be kept running in order for the firm to function. So it includes access to case management system. So this means that the lawyers need constant access to case files, schedules, and legal records. Then we have client communication. So for example, like emails or video calls. That means like all the lawyers, legal professionals must be able to stay in touch with their clients as well as courts. Then we have legal documentation and shared drives. So this is to allow shared access to any case documents, and these case documents must be preserved and consistently available. Then lastly, we have is a secure connection to headquarters and other branches. So this means that there should be remote access to resources in other offices in order for collaboration as well as casework. So now we'll move on to this next component of these strategies, which is supporting resources. So these are the tools and systems that are required to keep the critical function working. So for example, we have physical servers and storage systems. So this includes the host internal data as well as applications. Then we have the internet, VPN, and firewall infrastructure. So this is to ensure secure, stable connectivity with internal and external parties. Then we have the client database. So this is to hold any sensitive legal and personal data, and this data should be protected and backed up. And lastly, we have the IT and admin personnel. So that means that all teams should be responsible for operating and restoring the infrastructure. Next component of the continuity strategies is anticipated potential contingencies. So what does this mean? It refers to the likely disruptions that the company or law firm must take account of. So this includes any cyber attacks such as denial of service or ransomware that could shut down operations. Next is network outages or hardware failures. So this refers to any prevention of access to case files, systems, or external communications. Then we have data corruption or accidental deletion. So this refers to any critical data that could be damaged or lost due to human or system errors. And then lastly, natural disasters. So this is if there's any floods, earthquakes, or even fires that could impact the physical office or data center. I'll talk about the next part of the continuity strategies, which is the selected continuity strategies. So this refers to the main methods that have been chosen to ensure operations continue during any disruption. So the first strategy is warm site. So what does this mean? It means a secondary location that has backup servers and infrastructure that are partially ready. So during the website, it prepares if any disaster hits, the team can activate this site, set up systems, restore the data, as well as resume critical operations. And a warm site is typically faster than a cold site, but it is cheaper than a hot site. So that is one of the strategies. And then the next strategy is database scheduling. So database scheduling refers to live copying of legal databases, content, for example, such as case files, client records from the headquarters to the Bali site. And then database shadowing helps to keep backup data updated in real time, and this helps to reduce loss if the headquarters servers go down. And then the next part of the continuity strategy is the implementation of these strategies. So these are the technical and operational tasks to make the strategies work. So first is install secondary server infrastructure with replication tools. So these are to set up servers and hardware in Bali with tools for application as well as for recovery. Then the second one is to set up VPN for the headquarters to help secure connectivity. So this is to secure communication line between Bali as well as the headquarters in order to protect any sensitive legal data. Then the third implementation is to assign roles to the continuity team. So this is to make sure that everyone involved knows what to do in case of a disruption. So, so following this, we have the next part of the continuity strategy, which is the roles assigned. So there should be about 4 roles. The first one is the champion. So the champion will be the lead partner, and this refers to an executive supporter who ensures that the project has management backing as well as aligns with any legal firm goals. Then the next role is project manager, and project manager will be the IT manager. So IT manager will help to oversee the entire continuity plan, including scheduling, resource allocation, updates, as well as testing. Then the third role is the IT team. So the IT team is in charge of handling this technical setup, such as installing software, configuring servers, and activating the backup systems. Then the final role is the admin team. The admin team is to make sure that there's internal communication and make sure it flows smoothly between departments and clients during any disruptions. And then we have the final part of the continuity strategy, which is to test and revise. So testing ensures that the plan actually works when a disruption actually happens. So these are a few 4 common test types. The first one is desk check. So desk check is a basic review that the team will read through the plan in order to spot any errors or gaps. Then a walkthrough is a guided rehearsal of every step, and it is done slowly in order to understand the process without doing any real recovery. The third type is simulation. So it is a realistic scenario. So it can be, example, the headquarters network is down. So where the team will practice responding it as if that situation actually happened. And then the final test, it is the full interruption test. So this test is actually the most intense out of the 4. So it means you actually shut down the live systems in order to test whether the body site and recovery steps work under pressure. So, but then this test type should be used sparingly as it could cause a real disruption. So that is all for the continuity strategies.
For the first security technology, we use firewall to protect the law firm network in Bali from unauthorized access and cyber attack. The firewall inspects our incoming and outgoing traffic, checking the content of each data packet. This blocks harmful data from entering the network. Since our network uses VLAN segmentation, the firewall will protect the perimeter while ensuring that only safe traffic enters. This also protects critical servers connected to our hybrid topology, keeping our safe management and backup server secure. The second technology is Virtual Private Network, or VPN. A VPN creates a secure tunnel that encrypts data sent over the internet, so even if someone tries to intercept the data, they will only see scrambled information. Only authorized receiver can access the actual data. This supports our Bali branch in access legal document and system from the main office securely, acting like a secure invisible pipeline that connects the 2 offices while preventing data leak during transfer. For the third security technology, we use VLAN segmentation with access control list (ACL). VLAN divide the network into smaller parts while ACL control what data can pass between these parts. This allows us to set rules about who can communicate with whom across the VLAN. For example, staff can share resources while guest users can only access the internet. This setup improves network performance, enhance security, and reduce unnecessary traffic, supporting our hybrid topology network. Finally, we have Endpoint Protection Platform, or EPP, as our fourth technology. EPP protect all computer and server from virus and hacker. This include antivirus and personal firewall protection, scanning files and application from suspicious activity and block the tree immediately. As the Bali branch have over 90 devices, EPP ensure these devices remain protected. Even if someone accidentally download harmful files, it will also stop the malware from spreading across the network, keeping the data on the device safe and confidential, which is crucial for a law firm handling sensitive legal documentation.
Hello, I'm Muhammad Akif Daniel bin Muhammad Rapi. Now I will present to you the legal and ethical consideration. Let's start with legal issue. Firstly, we got data privacy law. As the new branch is in Bali, Indonesia, it is subject to Indonesian law, specifically Indonesia Personal Data Protection Law number 27 of 2002 that govern the processing of personal data. This law require lawful processing, data subject consent, data minimization, and breach notification. The firm must ensure its data handling, storage, and security practices for client and employee data comply with this regulation. Next, we got client confidentiality and data protection. The network will host a self-hosted digital keys management system and act as a backup location for critical server. This data is subject to attorney-client privilege and strict confidentiality. The firm has a legal duty to implement robust security measures to prevent unauthorized access or data breaches. Data breach Data breach can lead to loss of client trust, professional disciplinary action, and potential malpractice claim. Moreover, we have cybersecurity and breach notification. The firm is legally obligated to implement reasonable and appropriate security to protect its network. In the event of data breach, Indonesian law likely specify mandatory procedure for notifying affected individuals and regulatory authorities. The network design must include monitoring and logging it to detect and respond to such incidents. For ethical issues, the first is duty of technological competence. The legal profession has an ethical duty of competence which extends to technology. The firm's leadership is ethically obligated to understand the risks associated with its IT infrastructure, including the self-hosted case management system and server backup, and to employ qualified experts to secure client data effectively. Furthermore, informed consent for network use. When client and guests use the office Wi-Fi in meeting rooms or reception, the firm has an ethical duty to be transparent about the term of use. This includes providing notice about the security limitation of a guest network and obtaining consents of any data monitoring that may occur. In the event of a breach, clients should be promptly notified. Lastly, data integrity and availability. The ethical duty to diligently represent client require that case files and data are not only confidential but also accurate and available. The decision to make the new office as a backup location for critical server create an ethical imperative to ensure that backup and recovery systems are flawlessly implemented and regularly tested to prevent data loss that could compromise legal case.
Hi everyone, now I will walk you through the conclusion of our security implementation for the Bali branch law firm, focusing on 5 different core areas. First, our security design specification is built on a layer architecture where we use VLAN segmentation to divide the network into smaller isolated zones, reducing the risk of internal data leaks. Next, firewall is used to protect the network perimeter by inspecting the filtering all incomings and outgoing traffic, and access control list (ACLs) to strictly define who can access which part of the network. Over 90 devices are safeguarded with endpoint protection platform, which help to scan and block malware in real time to ensure that even if someone accidentally opens a malicious file, the threat can be blocked before it spreads. We also use a VPN, which is a virtual private network, to encrypt data as it moves between the Bali branch and headquarters. This means any intercepted data will be unreadable to outsiders. Finally, the hybrid style network topology simplifies fault detection and centralized monitoring, which improve our ability to enforce policy and respond to threats quickly. Second, for security operations and threat management, we rely on EPP tools to protect all devices in real time by scanning for malware, viruses, and abnormal behavior. The firewalls monitor the flow of data and block any traffic that appears suspicious or harmful. Additionally, we have integrated monitoring and logging system that detect unusual network behavior and help us respond quickly to any breach attempt. This is important because it aligns with legal requirements for breach notification, where we must be able to identify when a breach happens and respond appropriately within a set time frame. Third, in security awareness and staff training, we implemented a SETA program, which is a security education training and awareness program. We conduct regular phishing simulations to test how staff respond to suspicious emails. Password training and incident response drills are held to teach staff how to handle cyber attacks or data breaches. On the other hand, the awareness is continuously reinforced through security poster, newsletters, pop-up reminders, and guest briefings. For IT staff, we offer formal training, optional cybersecurity certifications, and legal compliance briefings. This ensures everyone understands their role in protecting the firm's system data. Fourth, in business continuity and compliance, the Bali branch is set up as disaster recovery site with daily backups, real-time database replications, and fail-over-ready systems. This allows operation to continue even if the main office goes down. We use VPN access to support remote work and regularly test our continuity plan through simulations and walkthrough. Additionally, we also follow ethical and legal compliance standards by using transparent data practices, securing concerns when needed, and disposing of outdated records in secure manner. Finally, under client data protection and access control, we ensure legal and client data is securely encrypted using AES-256, stored on control access servers. Access is restricted through role-based access, ensuring that employees can only access the data relevant to their duties. MAC address filtering and WPA3 wireless encryption prevent unauthorized devices from connecting to internet networks. For guests, we provide a separate VLAN that only allows internet access, keeping our internal system fully isolated. Our design complies with global privacy law such as Malaysia's PDPA, Europe GDPR, and Indonesia UUPDP, ensuring responsible and legal data handling. In conclusion, our security strategy is not just about defending against attacks. It is about ensuring client trust, legal compliance, and uninterrupted service. By combining technical solutions with staff training and legal awareness, we have created a secure and resilient environment for the Bali branch.